This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard with you. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Busy program lined up today. Among our guests, Thomas Gable from the Borgata in Atlantic City coming up in 30 minutes, along with Lou Finocchiaro in 90 minutes. Both guys are going to have strong opinions on the latest betting scandal, this time in the UFC over the weekend. Paul Stone, 90 minutes from now, college football. Best bets out of him. And Derek Stevens, owner, CEO of Circa, coming up a little bit later on. You will not believe what one entry is accomplishing right now in Circa Millions. The ATS contest here. 5 picks a week. Absolutely off the charts on a historical pace, by the way. And today is deadline day in the National Football League. I almost fell off the couch a little earlier today. Because when I first heard the news, I'm like, hey, good for the Colts. They're going to go for it. They're trading for Sauce Gardner. And immediately before the details came out, I thought, would they give up third, maybe a second-round pick, maybe?
No.
Oh, boy.
That's what you thought?
Was I wrong on that?
Oh.
They gave up 2 first-round picks and A.D. Mitchell for Sauce Gardner? Are you bleeping kidding me? Now, I'm on record for saying, and I just did it today on Pod to the Futures with JVT, I want more teams to be active at the trade deadline like the NBA and Major League Baseball, and I don't understand how they treat their picks as if they're gold because you whip on so many of the picks anyway for a proven player. Yeah. But can we be sensible here about this? 2 first-round picks. Today's an unbelievable day to be a Jets fan, and I can't believe I'm saying it.
Yep. They have 5 first-round picks and 3 second-rounders in 26 and 27 combined now. You got to hit on the picks, though. It's a deal you had to take. Had to do the deal. I know you're not the biggest Sauce fan. He was having a good year, but you also deal Williams. And I fell off the couch when I saw the Diana Rossini tweet.
Well, that's... You
retweeted Indiana Jet, Circa Survivor winner, about, I talked to one source, and he said, they just blew up a top 5 defense. They give up 25 points every game. Yeah. Haven't been able to stop anything the last 3 years.
Right. From when? The Rex Ryan days?
Yes. You go back to those days, right.
Sure.
That was a good defense. But with Revis Island. But this, now you just got to hit on these picks. You got to find a franchise quarterback. Enough with the Rodgers and then the Fields and the Tyrod Taylor. You whiffed on Darnold. At least you got to an AFC title game with Sanchez, but he didn't work out long term. You got to get a home run pick with these, and it's a total rebuild and blowing it up and a good move for the Jets. And the Colts are going for it, but that's too much to give up. Plus, the Jets get Mitchell as well, who's, I guess, known for dropping the ball at the 1-yard line. But that's crazy what the Colts did.
I totally agree.
I also echo your sentiments about we had a lot of activity. Going back, it's the 3rd most trade since 1990 on this day. But this should be a busier day. And I thought the 49ers should have done something as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So we'll tell you what NFL media, what they're telling you about the trades the Jets pulled off today. And the one with the Cowboys. So this is from Greg Rosenthal, who has worked with the NFL for a long time. He said, so the Cowboys essentially traded Micah Parsons and Mozzie Smith for Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, and a move up roughly 15 to 20 spots into the back of the first round of the 2026 draft, and they got 0 extra picks out of it. Bill Barnwell, ESPN, is great at breaking down this kind of stuff. He then posted a bad trade compounded by a desperate attempt to make up for that bad trade, and he likes Quinnen Williams, is what he said. Quinnen Williams is a good ball player.
Yeah.
But now the Cowboys gave up that much because they are thinking they maybe made him at this point of the season, and you lost last night. You're 3-5-1, and you stink. Why would you acquire all that draft capital earlier this year for Micah Parsons and then say, here's an idea. We're going to give up one of our picks that we just got. It's the higher of the 2, by the way, for Quinnen Williams, and we're going to add a 2nd-round pick to it. What are you doing, Jerry Jones?
Yep.
God, is that stupid.
Mike Florio nailed it, though. He's a carnival barker. As he said it himself. When it's slow out there, I like to stir bleep up. That's what he did. Nothing to talk about on the field. I thought Aikman was great last night. Based on what I'm seeing here, I would veto the trade. After why you tease, you go on the radio and say you made a trade,
Right.
and you go out and you lose to Arizona and can't stop anything again. Although the offense didn't help them out, but that's just it's crazy what they're doing, and not it's
Totally agree.
I just said it's on the fan base too. Don't go to the games.
Right.
I couldn't believe what I was watching yesterday. They treat him like a player. They show him coming into the stadium right where the players go out on the field. He's signing autographs for fans, high-fiving, whatever. Oh, Jerry, give me a picture, whatever. And he walks out on the field like he's a player. And then he always has his post-game scrum. He's got his own weekly spot on all these radio stations. He's okay, so it's worth a lot of money, and you could get in valuation number one in the world. But it's this drought without winning a playoff game or a NFC title game. It's all on him, and the fans should revolt.
Right, sure. If you're a fan living in that area and you're a diehard Cowboys fan your whole life, why would you want your photo taken with him? Why would you want his autograph? He's the guy responsible for your lack of success over the last 30-plus years. Single-handedly, he's the guy. I would. The only reason I'd want to have a beer with him is so I could curse at him for 10 minutes or whatever he would give me in terms of a window.
Yeah.
And I grew up hating the Dallas Cowboys because my older brother loved him and shoved him in my face. I'm like, get out of here with this crap. But that dude, he's the last guy on the planet, if I lived in the area, I'd want anything to do with.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he's poison is what he is.
Yeah. And then when he gets up there in age, which is right now, does he give it to his son, or who calls the shots? Are they ever going to hire a legitimate, real NFL GM? That's the other question, too.
Wow.
That the beat goes on and the beat goes on. So it is curious that you're treating this as you're a contender when you're 3-5-1 into the bye and headed nowhere. That you do
Good
this.
point.
And you're also accurate and right that what you gained from the Parsons trade, and now you give stuff back.
No point doing that
that.
at all. So the Jets overall, again, to sum up their day, they no more Quinnen Williams, no more Sauce Gardner, but they have 5 first-round picks and 3 second-rounders in the 2026 and 2027 drafts combined. To your point, Paulie, now you got to get them right. But they thought they got him right when they were taking guys like Sauce Gardner. I would argue, look, the Jets did have good numbers overall as a defense 3 years ago. How much of an impact does Sauce Gardner truly have on games today? People, and what you're going to hear now, people are going to find whatever they can angles, and boy, Sauce has been really good at this, and he's, number one receivers, and the yada, yada, yada. I think you've been sold a bill of goods on this guy since his rookie year, when he was not the rookie of the year. His numbers were not even close to Riq Woolen for the Seattle Seahawks. Riq Woolen deserved to be rookie of the year, but because he's got a cute nickname and he plays in New York, we had to hear about how good this guy was, and yet I'm on the airwaves telling you that this guy was getting away with. I can remember as a rookie playing in Denver. It was defensive holding / pass interference on the same play at the end of the game. Gardner got away with it. Never turned his back. Holding Cortland Sutton. Got away with it. No call. And people on the broadcast, boy, this guy's really good. Really? We're going to ignore the rule book completely and every penalty that's been thrown in a similar situation over the last 10 years all of a sudden because he's got a good nickname?
Well, they get out from the contract, too. That's a big thing as well.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you think of the player. The contract was too much. I like Shaheed to Seattle. That's a good move. Another weapon for Darnold. And I don't understand what Jacksonville's doing. They get Jacoby Myers from the Raiders. Over the last 2 years, first-round pick on Thomas, 2 first-round picks on Hunter. He's hurt, but he's back in 3 weeks. They gave Gabe Davis $40 million. They gave Diami Brown a 1-year deal. They traded for Tim Patrick, and now you traded for Myers. You also have Parker Washington, who just had a good game. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, they're loading up and giving Trevor Lawrence as many options as possible here. I will say this, at least. Now, again, Hunter out. He'll come back eventually. Brian Thomas now nursing a bad ankle. Patrick hurt like you talked about. So all of this is compiling here for that offense. But I think, Paul, to your point yesterday when you said Jacksonville, good angle here to make the playoffs. They have the 4th easiest remaining schedule in the entire league. Mm-hmm. Colts have a doozy of a schedule coming up. Maybe they somehow pull off that division or make the playoffs. And they're trying to make a run for it here somehow. Now, would Myers be the piece that puts them over the top? It's exceedingly unlikely. But for a team that thinks they might be close or to need something to get into the playoffs, okay, I can respect that a little bit. And the Shaheed thing can only help out this offense now, which is absolutely humming on all cylinders for the Seahawks. They gave up a 4th and a 5th round pick for the guy.
Yeah. 500 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Sure.
Reunited with Kubiak.
That is
ASN Cup, not bad.
It's Horton, those tight ends.
Good tight ends.
It's a lethal in the way Darnold's spinning it right now. Man, oh man.
Yep. And a lot of other teams, I just said they're good, which I was surprised by.
Yeah.
I thought Olave could have gone somewhere, but incredible haul for the Jets.
How about this?
Jets now underdogs against the Browns. Yes.
Breece Hall also said an hour and a half ago that he wants out. And the Jets were looking for a third-round pick for the guy.
For what?
A third-round pick. See, I think he would be worthy of a third or a fourth-round pick.
Yeah. Well, that'll be interesting to see what happens now.
And what is he, 22 years old in that neighborhood?
I thought they'd get that done. That was bizarre. Okay.
Yep.
It's right up there with, too. How about the reports that the Patriots and Titans were close on a deal, but the owner wouldn't sign off because she doesn't want to help Vrabel out because he hates how it ended and what she's done to that organization.
Boy, you got to love the bitterness, huh?
Can you believe that?
Yeah. How dumb is that?
I know.
You got to let that kind of stuff go.
Whether it was Ridley to the Patriots or something, they thought they had a deal done. And she's like, no, we're not going to help out Vrabel. Can't do it. No way.
Even if it doesn't help your team?
That's unbelievable. Those reports coming out.
Boy,
Breece Hall's 24?
Oh, he's super young. Yeah.
I'd try to get him. Best time of the year to be a sports bettor right now. College basketball underway. How about a 20-1 shot that came in last night? And what happened to Boise State? Great start, Sports Equinox special. Everything we do through May 1st for only $120, less than $20 a month. Best bet, every host, every guest, the betting splits, the AI prop projections, the 24/7 video as well. Don't wait. It won't last. VSiN.com/subscribe.
We will get into tonight's Hoops card coming up next. Wouldn't you know it, I found a honey hole in the NBA and have been limited 7 games into the season. You got to love sports betting in 2025. I'll give you the details on that next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board here on a Tuesday. Thanks for watching on YouTube TV, listening on Sirius XM channel 158, or any of our great affiliates across the country. Another weekend in the books, Paulie, and yet another betting scandal. And to talk about it now, Thomas Gable joins the program now. He is in charge of the race and sports book at the Borgata in Atlantic City, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Thomas, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Doing well, guys. Fortunately, another week, another betting scandal, it seems like. So not the greatest of looks here for the UFC, that's for sure.
Not at all. So the fight, do I have to say still allegedly fixed? Well, I will. With Isaac Delgarian happened over the weekend again. Can you take us through what happened, I guess, maybe in the moments or the hour, however long that window was before the fight, during the fight, and then after, what that was like on the other side of the counter?
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, some point early afternoon, IC360, which is the integrity monitor for a lot of sports books, including ours, before they used to be called U.S. Integrity, which is, I'm sure, a common name that some folks know, but IC360 is their new name. And they put out an alert that about suspicious wagering activity occurring on that fight, specifically, though, first round prop, first round winner, that a sports book that wasn't named was seeing suspicious wagering activity on. So really out of caution, and you have to remember, this was a UFC fight night, not a pay-per-view. This particular fight, the UFC, I think in general it's because it's become so big, they put on cards now every single week. There's a lot of, just a lot more people assigned to the UFC at this point. And, there's people fighting on these undercards that, unless you're a hardcore MMA person, the recreational players never heard of, and more than likely isn't betting week to week either. So, we ended up taking it off the board after the alert came out. It wasn't a card that we expected to do a ton of business on anyway, just because again, fight nights typically don't draw as much handle as say a pay-per-view event does for the UFC. So we took it off the board. I wouldn't say that we really took anything of substance on it. There were certainly wagers on the fight. We didn't take anything on that particular prop that was identified by the integrity company in the alert. And if you watch the fight played out exactly as what the alert came out. There was a first-round submission there. There was heavy movement towards the dog in that fight, not only in the money line price, but also in that particular prop. And really, for sportsbook, if you want to take the fight off the board when you see an alert, you have the option, or you can certainly keep it up and keep taking action on it too. That's totally up to the operator to do. So, we ended up taking it off the board. Again, it wasn't something that we were expecting to write a lot of business on in the first place. So, now obviously the aftermath, in the aftermath of this, the UFC has cut ties with that particular fighter, which certainly lends to, where there's smoke, there's fire. And, there's obviously been out there now. The UFC was alerted to this suspicious wagering prior to the fight. And at least, again, I can't confirm that this was the case. I've seen reports that the UFC actually went to the camps and said, hey, this is just got reported to us. And the camps both said, no, we're good. And they elected to stage the fight. And here's where we are right now today with a lot of people looking at this and saying, was this fixed? UFC obviously, optically not great for them. And, on the heels of the NBA case from, just about 2 weeks ago, it's not great for sports betting in general either, for those who want to always raise the flag for, that, things are fixed all the time. I mean, again, this is why we have integrity monitoring services that we can report into when we see something. And, again, this is part of the regulated market now where we can raise these things. And Sportsbook obviously did in this case. And they alerted who they needed to alert, which was IC360. And then UFC is partnered with IC360. And they went and alerted the UFC to this. So it seemed like everybody kind of did their jobs up until when it got to the UFC, and then the UFC made the decision they did to continue on with the fight.
Yeah, I'm shocked by that. On the post game, Michael Chiesa gave the performance of the fighter Belgarian an F-. How bad it was in his performance and not fighting back in the first round finish went from plus 850 to plus 450 in some spots. When the integrity alert is sent out, do you leave it up to the customer, or can you void prior bets that already came in?
Well, so that would probably depend on your jurisdiction. I know, some places you can't just void things without going to the regulator and getting their approval first. I did see some sports books put out there that they did void these wagers or refunded these wagers. We did not. Again, there wasn't really anything of significance, I feel, in terms of money that came in on this fight that we needed to issue a refund. But again, if a customer comes up and asks for a refund, again, it's going to be up to your discretion if you want to honor that or not. But if for a book to just say, hey, we're going to refund everything, I would, again, certain states are different, but you probably have to go to the regulator and let them know, or at least get their permission to say, yes, you can go ahead and issue refunds to everybody.
Yeah, I can't imagine how this is a good look at all for the UFC if they were alerted prior to the fight and they allowed it to go on. That just sounds really, really bad to me.
It's, the UFC, it's a different animal than obviously, the NBA or Major League Baseball, because, these fighters are independent contractors. So it's, the UFC doesn't necessarily have their arms around them like, another league would with their players. How much contact a fighter has with the UFC, aside from fight week, I really don't know. I would assume not entirely too much. And I think just the fact that you have fighters coming from all different countries, right? This isn't just an American thing. Everybody's contained in one state or one city. It's tough. It's tough, and I think just the environment itself is ripe for possibly bad actors to get in there. And now, you're seeing a lot of, you're seeing some fighters come out on social media today and even last night saying, "Well, I've been approached in the past about." Fixing matches. And again, I think it's just the environment, not the UFC's fault by any means. It's just the way that they operate that with these independent contractors, you can't, it's, I would assume very, very difficult to police that type of thing for the UFC.
Very good. Thomas, you're also huge into college basketball. Last night, yesterday, full card overall. Today, a bunch of games as well. Is there currently a number on the board that you're doing a double take on, saying that doesn't look right per my power ratings anyway?
Well, I played two games today earlier. The Long Beach State, San Diego State. I played San Diego State laying the 23.5. I think that's up to 25.5 now. Certainly the Aztecs on paper, this should be the best team in the Mountain West coming into the season. Match up here with Long Beach State, that team that really lost their way last year in terms of just having an offensive continuity. They commit a lot of turnovers, and now they have a lot of roster turnover coming into this year. I have only Cal State Fullerton and UC Riverside power rated below Long Beach State in terms of their conference. So they're going to be in the lower tier. I don't expect much out of them offensively, especially against the Aztecs, who traditionally play pretty good defense. So that was one play that I had. And then also laid 20.5 this morning with South Carolina against North Carolina A&T. Again, this is really just a straight play against probably one of the weakest teams in college basketball in Division I, North Carolina A&T. They lost their top 5 scorers from last year, which, again, that team was not great offensively. They did pick up a decent D2 kid who will probably be their go-to guy. But, again, this is an SEC team, yes, a bottom-tier SEC team in South Carolina, going up against one of the weakest teams in D1.
Very good. Thomas, we appreciate your time as always. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
There you go. Thomas Gable, Borgata Racing Sportsbook in Atlantic City. Up next, win some, lose some. Wait until you hear some of the upsets that took place in college basketball. No joke, this has to be one of the biggest in the history of the sport.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Time to get some best bets for this week in college football as we head out now to the Progressive guest line as Paul Stone joins the program now. He's on X at Paul Stone Sports. Been betting and handicapping college football for many, many years. Paul, good afternoon. Thanks for the time. We appreciate that. You're going to get involved in MACtion tonight. We have a doozy of a doubleheader. First of all, Akron's laying 12 to UMass. My God, how bad is that program now? But you have action in the other game, Miami against Ohio here. Who do you like?
Yeah, obviously, the top 2 teams in the MAC are eventually going to meet at Ford Field there in Detroit on December 6th. Miami atop the league ladder at 4-0, and Ohio, the host tonight, one of 3 teams with 1 loss. So both these teams obviously in the hunt. A huge game tonight in Athens, Ohio. There's a couple of reasons I like Ohio tonight. First of all, the Bobcats, man, they really made a good account of themselves in their opening 3 games of the season, all against Power 4 opponents. Opened the season on the road at Rutgers, lost that game 34-31 on a late field goal. Then at home the next week, West Virginia, when West Virginia was healthy, and they weren't going to be great anyway, but the Mountaineers were healthier earlier in the year. Athens upset West Virginia as a small home underdog 17-10. And then they traveled to Columbus to the Horseshoe to play Ohio State the next week only trailed Ohio State 13-9 early in the third quarter. Ohio State pulled away late, won that game 37-9, but Ohio competitive for a little over 2 quarters. But most of my position here, it centers around Ohio's current 11-game home win streak. That win streak at home dates back to late in the 2023 season. During this 11-game home streak, they have faced 9 FBS opponents. The other 2 victims were FCS teams. They covered in all 9 instances as well against the FBS team. So 9-0 at home in their last 9 against the FBS. Look for Ohio quarterback Parker Navarro and his favorite target, Chase Hendricks, to hook up early and often. I like Ohio -2.5 tonight at Peden Stadium over Miami of Ohio.
Looking forward to this game. We touched on it earlier that Indiana and Iowa gave Indiana a tough game. Now they're at home against Oregon. What do you think of the dog in this one?
I tell you, Oregon, first of all, most people probably consider the Ducks about the 6th best team in terms of probably traditional polls and power rankings as well. And I'm not saying they don't deserve to be there, but if we look at their resume in hindsight, that victory at Penn State, the double overtime victory, maybe not quite as significant as it seemed at the time. And then 2 weeks after defeating Penn State in State College, at home, they play Indiana, much anticipated game. Indiana wins that game 30-20. Nothing flukish about it at all. They were the better team. They deserved the victory. So one could argue that Oregon really doesn't have a signature victory this season to this point. And now they have to go to Iowa City and play at Kinnick Stadium, where strange things, seem to happen historically through the years. This is an Iowa team. They don't do anything flashy. It's more, substance and style, so to speak. But it's an Iowa team that led Indiana this season 13-10 early in the fourth quarter, ultimately lost to Indiana 20-15. But the Hoosiers had their hands full on that day. Indiana, man, they got a high-octane offense, only 337 total yards this season against this Iowa defense. So if they can play their trademark style of football, which is run the football, sound defense, sound technique, win the turnover battle, I think this can be a 4-quarter game. Could go either way. I think Iowa might get the outright victory. I like the Hawkeyes +6.5 over the Ducks Saturday at Kinnick.
Yeah, none of that would surprise me whatsoever. In fact, this is one of the games during the college football betting guide when we put it out in the summertime, Paul. I circled it. I was like, Penn State and Oregon both have to go to Iowa and play. And something tells me, even with that preseason hype on both teams, Iowa will give these teams probably both a run for their money. And they beat Penn State, obviously down a bunch of guys. And this thing here, I'm kind of expecting the same thing. Another Big Ten clash that you like is Rutgers as a pick against Maryland. Why do you like Rutgers here?
Yeah, both these teams feasted on friendly non-conference schedules before they kind of graduated to Big Ten play and met reality. They've only got a single conference victory each. Rutgers won at Purdue 27-24 about a week and a half ago. And then Maryland, way back on September 20th, they went to Madison as a 10.5-point underdog, upset the Badgers 27-10. Since then, the Terrapins have proceeded to lose 4 straight games. They have been competitive in most of those, however, 3 of those losses only by 4 points or fewer. Rutgers, after hosting Maryland this weekend, they're going to be off next week, and then they'll finish the regular season with a trip to Ohio State, and then they'll play Penn State at home to finish the regular season. So what I'm getting at is I believe this is Rutgers' best opportunity the remainder of the season, despite the Nittany Lions' struggles recently. I think this is Rutgers' best opportunity the rest of the way to get a victory. I think they'll be all in here. They have a very solid passing attack led by their quarterback, Ethan Kaliakmanis. Kaliakmanis is thrown for almost 2,500 yards. He threw for 330 yards or more against 3 Big Ten teams, those being Iowa, Washington, and Purdue. Maryland, statistically in the passing defense statistical categories, they rank fairly highly, but they really hadn't played necessarily a who's who of prolific passing attacks. So I think Rutgers is going to throw for some yardage. I made the number in this game, Rutgers -3. Circa almost agreed with me on Sunday. They opened Rutgers -2. Some money arrived on Maryland. I think Maryland was actually maybe a 1.5 point favorite at some books yesterday on Monday, but now a consensus of about pick. I think the winner is going to get the money here, the outright winner. I think it's going to be Rutgers. Give me the Scarlet Knights over the Terrapins Saturday in East Piscataway.
Go down in Lubbock. We're button heads here. Make your case for the Red Raiders laying 10 against BYU, and can they make a playoff run?
Well, obviously, since I'm going to be pushing Texas Tech here, I hope they can make a playoff run, and they're going to need this win to win this game probably to get in the playoff. But these are obviously two solid football teams. First of all, BYU, I mean, what a story, and it revolves around their true freshman quarterback, Bear Bachmeier, a guy who signed with Stanford originally, was at the Stanford campus for the spring semester in January, maybe even a little bit later than that. Jake Retzloff, who was scheduled to be BYU's quarterback, he eventually withdraws from school rather than face a suspension for allegedly violating the school's honor code. So Bear Bachmeier, seeing an opening, a true freshman, he comes to BYU, and what a story it's been. Wears number 47. His performance has been brilliant. His physicality has been a breath of fresh air. He's not a slider. He likes to not only take contact, he seems to initiate contact. So just a fun guy to watch. But as much as I like BYU, I like Texas Tech better. I think Texas Tech's A game is superior to BYU's A game. Baron Morton, I mean, this was critical. He returned last week against Kansas State on the road after missing 2 games due to a bum ankle, led the Red Raiders to a road victory over the Wildcats there in Manhattan, 43-20. Never an easy place to win. And although this guy's reappearance from injury was not given nearly the coverage as Morton's, the addition back in the lineup of tight end Terrence Carter Jr., he is a huge critical piece of that Red Raiders offense. Listed as a tight end at 6'2", 248. He's one of those hybrid type guys who can split out wide, really causes matchup problems for the opposing defense. I expect to have him to have a big game against BYU on Saturday. And looking back, I mean, at BYU's performance on the road this year, with all due respect to their undefeated record and how well they've played, they've kind of done it with smoke and mirrors. Their best road game of the season, certainly their past road game, when they defeated Iowa State 41-27. It is an Iowa State team, though, that is down and without both of its starting cornerbacks at the start of the year. But in their previous 2 Big 12 games on the road, they survived in Boulder at Colorado. Right. They beat Colorado 24-21. They could have lost that game. Colorado's really slipped a lot in recent weeks, but barely won in Boulder. And then the same thing in Tucson at Arizona. You know, they were down 10 late in that game in Tucson, ended up beating Arizona 33-27 in double overtime. On Saturday, ESPN Game Day, going to be on hand for the first time since 2008 when Texas Tech had that pass from Graham Harrell to Michael Crabtree to beat Texas 39-33. Classic game that night. ESPN Game Day back in Lubbock. I think Patrick Mahomes is even going to be in the house. They're not supposed to throw the tortillas, but I bet you they're going to be going to. Going to be a raucous environment. I think Texas Tech's going to take care of business. Their A game, I mean, against Utah, we saw their A game in September. They took the Utes apart 34-10, dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Kyle Whittingham, he looked like he was in a daze after that game. He didn't know what hit him. When Texas Tech plays that well, they can beat anybody in the country. I think all hands going to be on deck Saturday in Lubbock. I like the Red Raiders by 2 touchdowns over BYU.
Thanks, buddy. Good luck this weekend, okay?
Hey, same to you guys. Appreciate it.
There you go. Paul Stone on the Progressive Guest line. Up next, Mitch and Paulie's Pizzeria will try to build some crossport parlays that would eventually result in a massive payday.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Thanks for checking out the program today. We're live in Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino, and every Tuesday at this time, the owner and the CEO of this phenomenal property, Derek Stevens, joins us in studio. It's good to see you again today. How are you?
Very good. Good to see you. Coming off of what was a huge weekend in Las Vegas and huge weekend in sports. Man, it was something this weekend.
So I've been talking about this or teasing it throughout the entire show. I cannot believe, I should, but I can't, what's going on in Circa Millions. Through 9 weeks, the leader, Potato Commish, is 35-10 ATS.
35-10. Kind of, yeah, he's 2.5. 3 full points ahead of a 4-way lead for second. You're right.
He is on pace. Now, this is going to be difficult to maintain, but my God, halfway through the season to hit at this clip, he would shatter like every contest record of this is almost touching 80% we're talking about here.
Yeah, Derbify, Tony Gordon, still the all-time leader. Him with Mad Russian. Mad Russian lost the tiebreaker that year. But those are the 2 best records ever in Circa Millions. But yeah, Potato Commish halfway through is rolling. I think he pulled off a 4-1 this weekend.
Oh, but do you know who this person is?
I know him through my X account, through Twitter. But I don't.
Oh.
If I know him, I don't know him. Like I don't know that I know him.
Okay.
But I think he's a friend of the crew. I think he's been out here many times. So maybe we've been hanging around. Maybe we all know him.
Or maybe.
What happened to Private Plane Wayne?
Oh,
No?
he's had a couple of weeks. He's still up there.
Yeah.
He's still in the top grouping.
I asked him, I said, what gives? He said the algorithm was off. I mean, I don't know. That's what he said, but he was
he was off. Potato Commish tied for the second quarter.
Wow.
So he was 21-4 in the second quarter.
But he couldn't take it himself.
No, he couldn't take it
That's
himself.
crazy.
It's a 3-way tie in the second quarter between Jace Jesse, Whiskey, Risky, and Frisky, along with Potato Commish. They chopped the first 2. So they chopped what was $250,000. So they each get $83,333 apiece. And then there was a 4-way chop for 4th and 5th. So they took $62.50 home at 20-5. But yeah, the Potato Commish is in 3 full points ahead of anybody else. Pretty big lead. Still only halfway through the season, but Potato Commish got a cash, so that's good.
Hats off to him. How about let's go to the bottom.
Yeah.
A lot going on with the booby.
Sure is. Can you believe this? A 7-way tie for the second quarter booby, all at 5-20. Big Rock, Champ, Chiefs Kingdom, Iceberg Rodeo, Money Gun Guz, and Tiger Man McCool 1 and Tiger Man McCool 2. All 5-20. Everybody gets 3,571.
Wow.
So the Tiger Man went 5-20 on 2 different entries.
Yes.
Wow.
Incredible. Great job.
It makes you wonder if they would have done an Apple strategy.
Yeah.
Tiger Man, any of these guys would have been 20-5, and they would have been up. They would have been cashing on the good side.
Our friend Tammy Evans, who was there right there in the mix, she's distraught. She put up a 4-1. She can't believe it. So can't pick the losers anymore as well. We had this circled, right? Oh, week 10. It's a perilous trade. It's going to be tough, right?
Sure is.
But you look, and I was actually surprised with the availability on Buffalo and the Broncos. And so people got some Seattle left as well. By the way, the big news, Gannon's sticking with Brissett. He just announced that. Brissett's the quarterback. So what do you think here about who you would use and how many people have what left? And we could have a big game Thursday with Denver laying 9.5.
Yeah, well, Paul, I think you said the key thing. It's all about the availability. So take a look at Thursday night with Denver. So going into Circus Survivor for week 10, we now have a total of 1,769 Circus Survivors remaining. So a little less than 10% from where we started. But out of that 1,769, only 565 have Denver. So availability is going to be limiting you there. Indy, forget about it. There's only 35 left with Indy, so that's pretty much toast. Look at the Lions. The Lions with Jane Daniels out with the elbow injury, they went from 8.5 to 9.5. But the Lions, only 525 have Detroit out of the 1,700 available. So less than a third right there.
Oh, and by the way, they're still playing. Don't forget, I mean, they have both holidays yet.
Yeah, there's other future value with the Lions as well. So I can't see that one being a big selection.
Bills?
Well, Buffalo's only got 551 available. So yeah, 9.5-point favorite, only 551 in Circus Survivor. So then where do you go? You think we're going to go to? Is this the week you pull out Carolina?
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Carolina.
They're going to be popular, no doubt.
Everybody's got Carolina. Almost.
Of course.
You know,
Yes.
I mean, so I think Carolina is going to be in the mix. You got to figure out. Well, I'm gonna have to figure out a strategy to use 20 teams. Well, this might be my only time. I'm using Carolina, so I think I could see Carolina be the number one selection here.
I've seen projections 20, 25, 28% in that range this week for Carolina.
Yeah.
So does that mean that you have to try to find something else? You don't want to be on Carolina this week because they're suddenly this popular now?
I think a lot of people are in situations with their back against the wall. Yeah. You know, I think like if you're someone that has Carolina, but you don't have a lot of other options, I don't know that you like. Where are you going to go? There's not going to be many better options, are there?
Would you trust Seattle laying 7 against Arizona? Or you don't like their home road splits?
Well, I mean, you don't know. Seattle's obviously making moves to try to get better, but again, they only have 793 available. So, it's not like everybody's got Seattle available either.
Surprised by these numbers. Do you know what you're doing yet? You got 3 left?
I have 1 left here in Circa.
Well, 1 at Circa, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will tell you that.
Humans has 3 left.
That's right. Seattle was probably going to be one of the teams, but I like them a hell of a lot more against Kyler Murray.
I know. How about the big boy? We're down to 11 in the Grandissimo.
We're down to
$100,000 to get in.
We're down to 11. Yeah. Availability is just as interesting there.
Yes, it is.
I mean, you look at Indianapolis, 0. You know, there's a lot of teams. Kansas City, 0. There's a lot of zeros out there now on the big one. So down to 11. Denver, only 4 out of the 11 have Denver.
4?
Yeah. Only 5 out of the 11 have Seattle. Now, Carolina, of course, all 11.
All 11?
Yep.
So, you know.
5 have the Bills.
Yeah, 5 have Buffalo.
Yep.
No Green Bay left. No Indy left. 1 Kansas City. Only 1 Detroit. Circa Grandissimo, it's going to have a holiday problem. It's already, you can tell in advance.
I know. I'm stunned by that.
How many entries have Philadelphia left?
In Circa Grandissimo?
In the big boy, yeah.
7.
7 out of the 11. And then how about on Baltimore?
6.
Wow, 6 people still have Baltimore left, huh? Okay.
Yep.
I don't trust that, though.
Baltimore?
No, Flacco coming in, slinging it around?
I don't disagree. So
that total's got to be 60.
And do you think all 4 people with Denver left in the chamber are going to use him on Thursday?
I would think so. I would think so. I mean, Raiders have fallen apart. This might be a great opportunity to do it. There was not a lot in the Raider game last weekend that gave you much hope. So I could see Thursday being a big day of selections on Denver for everybody that has them.
They're in such a horrible spot to play in an overtime game and lose and then go on the road on a Thursday. I think teams in that situation, I had the number yesterday, I think they're like 4-16 ATS.
Yeah, I buy it. And then you traded Myers today, too.
That's right, yeah.
As well. Was that a top 5 World Series of your life?
I would think so. Bill Adie was asking. I think so. I mean, never would I have thought that if somebody told me back in spring training, Toronto versus the Dodgers is the World Series. I would say, I don't know that anybody really would have loved it, but it turned into be. It was pitch by pitch, game by game. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable World Series.
Game 6 and 7 were as good as you're ever going to get.
Yeah.
The
Dodgers
drama.
not forget about Game 3 where we spent 6.5
Well, no,
hours.
yeah.
That's unbelievable. Well, we're fortunate. We live on the West Coast. Nobody on the East Coast saw it.
Yep.
Right.
Unless you're from Toronto. But, yeah, it was unbelievable.
Dodgers hit 208 for the series.
Wow.
And
Blue Jays couldn't get the big hit.
Yep.
How about the Pajas catch? Where did he come from? Kike playing the save the day. Clement's going to win the MVP.
Yeah. They bring him as a defensive replacement before right that inning. That's unbelievable.
How about the Robert strategy overall to do that, but also he used 1 reliever in Game 7, and he said, I'm not going to my pen. I'm going to go to all 4 of my starters that got me here. And that's who he relied on. Shohei didn't have much, but then he went to Glasnow. Snell came in, and he's like, okay, I know Yamamoto went yesterday. Can you go? Yeah. Sure, I can. How about 3 innings to win it for me? Yeah, I got you. I got you, Skipper.
I think baseball fans loved it. I think baseball fans just loved it. It was
Huge
terrific.
ratings. Huge ratings. Don't screw it up with a lockout.
I couldn't get over the defensive plays.
Oh,
Every half inning, something amazing was happening.
Rojas is unbelievable. Hits out of the 9-hole tie, hits a tying home run. Then he makes the defensive play, and he's wearing Van Cleef. Look at that. It's unbelievable.
Thanks, Derek. In pocket plays coming up next.